My name is Hope. I was born with HIV. I was told that I had HIV a month after my 18th birthday. My mother had been talking to the doctor, and when she came back into the room, it was clear just from her expression that something was definitely not right. That day had marked the beginning of my HIV medication administration. As from that point on, I was taking medication day in and day out, which at the time I believed were just vitamins for my anemia. I remember thinking over and over again that there has to be some other explanation. There is no way possible I'm HIV. After an hour and being part distracted by the pile of homework, I convinced myself that they were prescribed to treat something else. Unfortunately, it wasn't as easy I thought it would be to put the thought of me having AIDS out of my mind. So that night, after having spent hours lying awake and unable to sleep, and now crying, part pleading with God that I had anything other than HIV, I finally got out of bed and went upstairs to my parents' room in the middle of the night, confronted them about the drugs. When I asked my mother, she denied it, saying that the medicine I was taking was HIV medication, but they were for my anemia and only that. This story worked just as well for me because it didn't confirm my biggest fear. The last thing I wanted to hear was that I have HIV. For a long time I was seriously in denial, but the thought was always in the back of my mind, especially when I heard people talk about anything that had to do with HIV/AIDS. After some time, I started to pick up on the signs. My parents were taking the same medication, yet they didn't have anemia. And that was when I told myself it's time to face the facts. So when my parents called me up into their room, it was to tell me what I already knew, that I am HIV positive. My parents couldn't believe I handled the situation so well. I guess I always knew, I just never truly accepted. I was hoping I would be wrong. I was hoping that day would never come. It's been almost 9 years since then and 8 since I started living on my own. Learning to take my medication on time, dealing with getting prescriptions, getting health insurance and seeking medical specialty advice have been part of my uphill battle with something that I never asked to have. But I can honestly say that with time it gets easier. And I can honestly say I often forget that I have HIV. I am healthy as can be, my body, the medications, and most of all, I am fighting. My desires to become a doctor, fall in love and start a family will surely come to pass. HIV has been anything but a death sentence to me. If anything, it woke me to sit up and take notice of this beautiful gift called life that many don't have or lose so early. With that being said, I urge you all living with HIV/AIDS to continue to stay strong, healthy, positive and hopeful for the future, because you can trust and believe that your life is in your hands. You are at the driving wheel. HIV does not control your life. You do.